Hello, traders. It's Sunday, November 24th, and it's time for our weekly recording. As always, we want to start off with our recent picks. That way you can see if I'm trash or if I'm actually pretty good at this stuff. IP was a pick that I gave you a week ago Sunday. That price action came into play right here on a 5-minute chart. If you bought IP Monday, you were happy because it continued to go straight up. However, I told you this is kind of a choppy stock. The market's really not doing much of anything. Let's wait for a pullback. Let's wait for an M5 buy signal. Then let's take a trade. There's your buy signal that came into play on Tuesday. So you can see what a nice entry point that was. You had plenty of time to take profits on it. If you decided that you wanted to swing trade it, you got a little bit of a dip on Wednesday morning, but you can see what the price action has been all week. This was an excellent trade. So somewhere from $56.50 up to $60. Really nice trade. C H W Y Chewy. That was my pick from the live event on Wednesday, which took place right in here. You can see how, yes, the stock did actually have a nice move higher. There's a chance to make some decent money on it. If you had bought here and you decided to turn this into a swing trade, you're basically a little bit higher than when we got into the position. I still like it. Take a look at the D1 chart, see what's going on there. You can see that the stock is trying to get through this high minus trend line. Now that is a very suspicious candle right there. It looks like a bad print to me. So I wouldn't put too much weight into this downward sloping trend line. You get bad prints every once in a while, okay? This one was not corrected by the exchanges, so must have been valid. That's why it held. Otherwise, it would have been adjusted out. So we've drawn to that candle. This is the one that I see to be more relevant, and the stock is trying to break through that resistance level. It has done so. I like everything I see in Chewy. I think this stock is going to continue to float higher. So right now, got a small profit in it. Put your stop in at your entry price. Let it float higher. Another kind of choppy stock in here. What has the market done? What do we have in store for next week? Well, we're really heading into a holiday period right now. We didn't have a lot of news this last week. We had NVIDIA was really the biggest news of the week, and the stock came out and it had a slightly negative reaction, but really nothing to really write home about. So there's not much news coming out this week. We have pulled back, and on a D1 basis, you can see how the market has checked. It has tested this previous breakout. Test, 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 test. 4 tests, okay? So this last one ended with a bullish hammer closing on the high. That's a pretty good sign. This right here was a tell. So you had a nice big day that looked like we were going to charge into this gap right here. But the next day, we went all the way back down, but finished right back at the top. That's a bullish formation. It shows that sellers came in, they tried to whack the price down, and they did throughout the course of the day, but buyers had the upper hand, and they drove the price all the way back. You can see this bullish hammer here on Thursday. Same thing, retrace an awful lot, but finished near the high of the day, and now we're starting to fill in this gap. So the general trend has been higher. We had a little breakout after the election and the Fed announcement to cut interest rates by 25 basis points. So the market got a little bit ahead of itself. It pulled back and it tested this breakout. All of this is perfectly normal price action. This is a normal pullback in a bullish uptrend. We have seasonality playing in our favor. I've been bullish for quite a while, so this should come as no surprise to you that I'm still bullish. I'm not gaga bullish like this market is going to rip off to a new all-time high between now and year end. I think it will make a new high, but I think it's going to do so in a very lackluster fashion. Not going to see a lot of selling pressure. Economic data points have been good. Earnings reactions have been good. Inflation continues to tick lower. So that's giving the Fed plenty of breathing room to ease if they need to. But right now, they don't feel the need to because economic conditions remain strong. So this is all good. It's the type of market backdrop that I want to be long in. We've had some swing trades on. We've had a third add now. We started to get long swing trades in here. We added in here. We had a check. We're good there. We got a breakout in here. We've tested the breakout. We were adding to positions here. So our average cost is way down in here. We've got lots of cushion. AVWAP Q never tested. 50-day moving average never tested. Dip was brief and shallow. What does that mean? It means the long-term trend is intact and that we should expect the all-time high at 600 to be challenged perhaps this week. But the trading is going to be really light. I mean, traders are starting to take time off. Thanksgiving holiday is going to really disrupt the trading week. So you could take Thursday out of it, then Friday's Black Friday. So that's only a half a day trading session. So which actually Black Friday can be pretty decent as far as trading conditions. To be honest with you, I haven't traded it in probably 20 days. That's a day that I typically take off, and I'm going to continue to do so this year. So watch the action on Friday. Don't assume that it's going to be a lackluster, boring day. It might have some pretty decent price action to it. In general, I'm looking for the market to continue to float higher to 600 based on the previous price action that we've seen in here, in here, in here, in here, in here. It's going to happen in a choppy sort of fashion because asset managers don't believe that they've missed the last opportunity to get long into year end. So they don't feel like they're missing this huge blow-off rally that's going to take place. So they're relatively passive. They will buy dips, but they are not going to chase breakouts to a new all-time high. So we've had the dip. This is a great place to be long. We should get some momentum for probably the next week, I would say maybe 2 weeks. Then we start heading into the beginning of December, and the action is, again, as we start making a new high, going to slow down, and we get this tiny little type of gradual float higher, and then we have the risk of a little dip coming up somewhere along the line. We should expect these speed bumps. So that's kind of how we're trading right now. We've had some great stock positions that we put on. I still advocate for strong stocks. Don't chase them. Try and enter on these dips. You've already seen the strength. You know the stock wants to move higher. Enter on those dips. So let's take a look at a search that I came up with, and I'm just going to take you through the thought process. This is actually going to be a pretty short video today. So the thought process is such. I went through my searches. I looked for stocks that I liked. I had a number of really good candidates, and in all of those instances, my point was going to be wait for a dip. Wait for a dip. Buy this on a dip. And I thought, well, you know, that doesn't really put any meat on the bone because everybody watches these videos on Monday and it's like, well, can't you find us a stock that's strong, that's already gone through the dip, that might be reversing that dip? So I thought, okay, well, yeah, well, let's do that. Let's look for one. Well, what might that pattern look like in my mind? Which, when you're creating stock searches, you have to visualize the pattern and you have to understand the variables and what each one of them does, because some of the variables perform better than others. Some of the variables are more sensitive than others. But what are those general characteristics that are going to get me the pattern that I need for this video? So I want the stock to be in a longer term uptrend. Okay, well, what are the characteristics of a longer term uptrend? Well, the stock would be above the 100-day moving average, above the 200-day moving average, above the 50-day moving average. That would be a nice, strong trend higher. It would be above a VWAP-E, so I could use that as a qualifier. I could look at the percentage 60-day range. I'd want something from the 90 to 100 percentile. That tells me that the stock is going to be pushing the upper end of its trading range. I'd like to see some buy signals because those would confirm that the stock is still strong. So here's a search that I came up with. We're going to take a look at the candidates, and let me put that up for you right now. And here's the search. Again, with our custom search, I can find anything that you could possibly conceive. I just have to think about which variables are going to get me to that end result. I have to visualize it. So here you'll see that I've got trade signal marked. Bullish trade signal D1. Bearish trade signal M30. Why would I want anything bearish? Don't I want the best of the best? Don't I want the strongest of the strong? Yes, I do. But this dip right here is going to give me the pullback that I tell all of you to buy. But on an M5 basis, the stock has recently put in a low and it's starting to reverse this dip, which gives me the entry point that I want. Okay, I hope all of that's really clear. And in my mind, this is going to be like a bullish flag pattern of sorts, okay? This is how I'm going to find it because stock has been super strong. Stock has had a little bit of a dip. That little dip is starting to find support, and now the stock is starting to come back up a little bit. This should be a good entry point. So, option liquidity, of course I want good option liquidity. I don't want any ETFs in here. And then there are my major moving averages. Okay, so it's above the 200, 100, and 50-day. So I run the search, and here are my search results. If I wanted to open this up to more candidates, I can try a variety of different variables. But as I go through these symbols, there are only 3 of them. So I didn't have to go through 50. I only have 3 of them to click through. Let's see if any of them are of interest to us. BROS, which is actually interesting because this was Harry's pick from the live event on Wednesday. So I'm not going to do it just because Harry's already highlighted the stock. COF is another one. Ooh, that actually looks really good. Capital One Financial. Look at that big gap up. So the stock is retraced, which is okay. There's your M30 sell signal. There's your D1 buy signal. There's your M30 sell signal. Let's get into that. So there's your M30 sell signals right in here. Okay. And here you can see a sell signal that really didn't produce and now actually is probably ready to flip to a buy signal. So I could approach it and I could say, hey, let me know when COF goes on an M30 buy signal. Give me that alert, and then I'll know that it's time to take the trade. All right, cool, I could do that. Let's take a look at the M5. Ah, there's my M5 buy signal. So again, on a D1 basis, I've got that nice pop higher that gets it on a D1 buy signal. I've got the M30 sell signal, and now I've got some nice price action. This is a good dip. Why? Because you can see how the stock has bounced right off of a VWAP-E, which is also a really good variable to use. I've extensively researched it, and we use it all the time. We even are able to search for it in our custom search. So I've got a stock that I really like. This looks like a bullish hammer setting up to me. Downward sloping trend line, you can see that visually above the EMA 8, but close to it. Friday, it puts in a nice day. Awesome. This is your pick of the week. I did go back, and it's always important to take a look at what this event might have been, because it's post earnings. Okay, so this was not an earnings reaction. This was actually a election driven response. And the notion was that Capital One and Discover are looking to merge. And the Democrats have been very tight as far as regulations. And the notion here was that Trump is going to be more receptive to reducing regulations, and that there was a higher likelihood that this merger would go through. Do I care about it? Not really, no, because all I care about are the technicals. Okay, I know what's driving the stock. I know the premise behind the move right now. Is anything going to happen the rest of November and into December? No, he hasn't even taken office yet. But this notion is going to remain out there at least until he takes office, okay? Then we'll see how everything plays out. But until then, everything is conjecture. And so you could think, well, everything looks great right now, Pete. What if the market changes its mind? What if the institutions all of a sudden feel that Trump is going to be hawkish on banks and he's going to increase regulations? And what if the stock reverses? And what if the stock takes out AVWAP-E? That can change in an instant, can't it? It could change, but it's not likely to. And I'm really going off of what the price action is telling me. I'm not going off of my personal sentiment. The price action is telling me how institutions feel about this. And that's really all I care about. And right now, they're telling me, okay, got a little ahead of itself, pulled back, preserved most of the gap, more than half of it, found support at AVWAP-E, bouncing off of it a little bit right in here. Yes, this looks like a good entry point for a long position. We're talking about day trading here. We're talking about short-term positions that might span a few weeks. COF fits the bill. I like it. Could you possibly Monday buy a little dip or still be patient given that the market's going to be choppy and we're heading into a holiday? That would be a great plan. Take a look at the 5-minute price action. What does it tell you that the stock typically does? Well, looks kind of herky-jerky to me. Looks like even on a big rally like this, if you're patient, boom, you get a chance to buy it at VWAP. Make sure that support holds. Make sure the market looks good. Tick, tick, tick. Got a winner. Okay, so you just scroll back, take a look at the price action. Since that initial move down, move up, just kind of chops around. So even if you get a big move like this was the price action the day before. You get a nice big rally in here. Everything looks good. FOMO Joe is in here buying the top. And then, maybe that wasn't such a good entry point. And I wish I would have bought it around VWAP, because I would have had a really nice chance to take gains there. Could have taken gains there. Had a retest. I could have even bought it right in here on the notion that now I've got a double bottom, higher low off of VWAP. This is all good. What's the market doing at the time? So that's how you need to trade COF. That's how this trade sets up. I'm going to go through one other tiny little example, and instead of using all these major moving averages here, I can open this up a little bit and take a look at maybe ADX is a trend measuring indicator. If I went D1, the stock would be probably close to parabolic. So let's just see what comes up. We got these same two candidates. So we could have used ADX on a D1 basis and reached the same result. Let's see what we got on H1. Nothing. But there was just another way for us to go in and try and find the type of trend strength that we're looking for right now. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. COF, that's your pick of the week. We're going to do a live event Wednesday. I hope you can attend. If you like this content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. At very least, give it a thumbs up. That's what drives the algorithms. I'm trying to reach as many possible traders as I can. I'm trying to teach all of you how to do this. That's going to help me educate more and more traders. So please click the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, attend the live events. They're super educational. You're always going to get lots of picks, and we'll review some of your picks and tell you if we like them or not. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers, and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.